And I think also like Pearl is one of those maps where you can be punished very easily on as well because like the rotations are so long and you look to see them playing that push and pull as we head into the agent select for this. Unsurprising to see the chamber coming out, honestly. I think that you're going to see a lot of like compositions that are really going to just try and enable a lot of those fights and go for like a lot of those early picks overall, just because of like the vibe of the event, right? Like just how it's formatted, it makes sense to go for agents like that.
Yeah, I think it makes sense as well because we just talked about some of the potential players and these two teams that could also be playing on that duel list. And also when you have Amelia and a Cryo that are great with the operator, just having you know a chance to have the chamber to play with the operator, but also have Amelia in some of those scenarios, I think it's great. And also, I mean, for the Tejo, we're starting to see a few teams willing to play with the Tejo on the map. So I feel like, you know, compositions here make sense. The post plans as well with the Astra should be interesting, and I'm excited to see who's going to win.
I'm not gonna lie, my first thought seeing Thea Pearl was gonna be, ooh, this is gonna be some great Astra gameplay coming up. So I cannot wait for that. But it's a Pearl that is ready. Let's get underway with our very first match of Spotlight Series. Let's head to it with your casters. Let's introduce Marks and Tenric.
Thanks so much, Sierra. Exciting to get to start the Spotlight Series today here with NVFQ and 100 Thieves. Marks, we're taking it to Pearl to start things out here in the best of one group stage. We know there's going to be a lot of running it down, a lot of experimentation, I think we'll say. But already, I mean, you're seeing a couple of the players who have already been shifting those roles, kind of coming into their own. Asuna on this KO as he's been starting to flex a little more. Marceline also taking up this Astra that, as Sierra said, it's going to be really easy to pay attention on this map. And Poppin on the Teo. That's a little unconventional for him.
Yeah, I mean, listen, there's a lot of unconventional things happening here, and the first and foremost is that Eggster cut his hair. I'm not gonna lie, when I saw that picture for the first time, I was like, there is no way. This is the changing of a generation right now. But yeah, once again, we're coming into this Spotlight Series, best of ones. Pearl coming up here, surprising pretty much everybody, including myself, and these two teams kind of being melded together with both the Game Changers as well as the main roster. And you know what? The predictions were pretty interesting between all of us. And here's why I'm going to pitch to you 100 Thieves. I genuinely think that they have a pretty good shot of pulling out ahead of this series, just simply because I think their playstyle matches a little bit better. Whereas the NV FlyQuest, it's not that they're going to be butting heads, but we know NV as that team that just loves to go high octane all the time. And FlyQuest, a little bit more methodical, a little bit more, you know, let's take our time with things. It seems like there's a lot of potential for some potential clashes happening there. And so I'm curious to see how this series is actually going to play out at the end. But regardless, we're getting into things right off the bat. NV FlyQuest is going to be starting us out on this defense, while 100 Thieves, they're going to be looking to attack.
Already going to suss out that trademark. Ismelia has taken up the jet. Something that the desk was discussing too. Like you said, 100 Thieves, everyone's a shooter, and everyone has a pretty similar play style. It's hard to find players that want to move as frictionlessly as Envy. So I'm excited to see how FlyQuest manages it, but they do have those inner workings, thanks to Jazzy and Lace working in the wings previously for that 100 Thieves GC team. And as Dan mentioned, even having, you know, Lace here as the sub, great to see her input. She's one of the OGs that knows how aggression and confidence works well in North America. So I'm sure she and Envy got along just great in prep for this tournament.
Right now, pin drop and serve and finally execute going to be happening on this site.
KO knife out to suss the inside of the site. Extra's only good for the one, and 100 Thieves, with the help of the smokes, can take enough ground, plant that spike pretty securely. NVFQ stayed pretty bare bones on that B site with the lack of noise really being made. So they'll go for this 3v4 retake after Melia spear tipped her way in. All about how you re-enter though, and Jazzy doesn't have any util to do so. Knife back in 5. And Thea still on the way back here. So much upkeep you have to deal with. Jazzy's found a head tap onto Asuna, but 100 Thieves still maintaining. Cryo holding up the hall. It's hard to crunch this. Have both ways to look before crossing that street, and Jazzy only dealing with the one before the time bank is already nearly fully depleted. Hey, there's the Astra. Pay attention to that, folks. So it is 100 Thieves taking that first attack round. Yeah, but I mean, pretty by the book for what we expected here. A little bit of pugging out. A lot more patience, I think, than we initially expected, though.
Yeah, honestly, like that time around, it was just 100 Thieves really just kind of playing the map, really taking our time, exploring all of our avenues here, and seeing really where they could kind of like pop into. Well, you see on the other side, the NVFQ side, they're just kind of chilling. They're just waiting, trying to get some information, and then when the crunch actually happens from that mid to B push, it just looks perfect from 100 Thieves. And of course, you know, they're going up against players like Cryo. I'm a big Cryo believer. I think, especially on this chamber, that's going to be something that we're going to have to wait for NVFQ to kind of take into account because, you know, a lot of potential pop-off moments from Cryo and honestly can just turn around completely on its head as we now move into our second round. Asuna going to be buying up the Phantom. Well-known Phantom enjoyer found out on the death segment there. And Cryo going to have a Vandal into this one. I didn't know that either, to be fair.
Well, Cryo's caught Poppin staring into space a little bit. Oh, but still a lot of dry checking, so Jazzy's going to be able to at least refrag that. 100 Thieves just trying to maintain, and Marceline's going to choose to just hold this down. The Nebulas are going to fade out, really, before the team gets here, and a gap's been found by Jazzy, but in time for the rest of 100 Thieves to get back. They should be able to line up these shots, at least intimidate this KO out. Wow, Jazzy still able to land. Nice head tap on a Slandy. Re-entry up by Exter is early, though, as always. Classic Envy. Out they stretch Melia from the lane. Again, you gotta look both directions. It's so difficult to do so. The lineups are clean, and the smoke resets are just not there. 2 standing after all is said and done.
Yeah, a great round coming through from 100 Thieves that time. I do like the response coming through from FlyQuest Envy, but I think that we're seeing a little bit of that like clash on comfortability, especially too knowing Exter. Yeah, this Yoru, you're going to walk in, you're going to try and frag out, try and take an opportunity, try and take a timing. And this is something that we know Envy is so good at. But this time around on the walkout, a couple of angles just go a little bit unchecked. And as a result of that, 100 Thieves are able to clamp down. Still overall, pretty good round. It's going to be 2 Sheriffs coming through from 100 Thieves. An excellent flashes. Asuna finds there right off the rip there. So a nice little aggressive play, and it works out perfectly for 100 Thieves.
Great spread of the stacks, so you could still turn that flash very efficiently while watching the same sightline that was actually in danger. Very good early upkeep to keep these defenders on their toes, but he'll just go for a second one, and that'll work out just fine. Double initiator working wonders on that push eventually. And now, sans util, Jazzy does have that null command to play guard dog on top of that spike. And that's the other thing that 100 Thieves are really bringing into this is the experience. The Slandy is the oldest player in this tournament, and then Austin is the longest tenured member on a given team in the tournament, not counting that 2-month period that he was technically inactive. But NVFlyQuest, they want to prove that they can outshoot those shooters, and bonus will be theirs with 2 standing as well.
Yeah, just once again, the pop-out flash from Jazzy, I believe, and then Poppin just swinging through, finding so much value. Jazzy able to capitalize there, find a couple kills, and that 100 Thieves first advantage of finding that kill so early on gets completely 0 value. An excellent read coming through from the NVFlyQuest side, and it's in those little small micro plays that I think that they really can find that success. You know, this is something that we can really see just a couple of players playing off of one another, using some good util, finding those excellent timings, and then everything can kind of work out, especially with how the smokes have changed after this most recent patch. Cryo, though, now has the Tour de Force online. Exter, just on the other side of there, gets one of the flashes out there to try and get that angle off. But this time around, it's NVFlyQuest being a little bit more proactive on the B to deny that extra space that so far 100 Thieves have been very comfortably taking.
Had the sense on that trap that Eve was trying to set up. Exter's going to pop the TP. 100 Thieves will take that opportunity to chomp on a little more space. Eve now set up to intercept Cryo's TDF. Oh, but Exter finding the high ground pick on top of the approach. That was solo as Melia still hasn't fully carved out spawn, but well, she's about to.
There's no way that they're going to be expecting Melia all the way back here. Poppin going to be the first one to potentially come to fruition, but actually just slips away in time.
She's gonna catch this gate crash too. She has so much knowledge on where they can end up going.
And look at this, 100 Thieves. Looks like they're cycling around, but Melia finds that first pick, so now Exeter has to kind of hold the fort down alone.
Yeah, knowing that Melia's coming and then hearing the steps from the Link, it doesn't matter! He's got both on the entry and up to 3 now for him. On the hunt for the ace, no one else available to take it from him. Melia toying and dealing half the other way as well. Exeter into the right click on the pistol, 10 seconds, and Marceline's gonna dare to fight it. Setting up. 1 star available just in the fadeaway, giving Exeter a 50-50, and Marceline can steal the ace away. But NV FlyQuest will still grab the round. Yeah, that haircut is gonna take a second to get used to, dude. He looks like Chris Evans from Scott Pilgrim.
Oh, yeah. I was sold really close by to me, so that hits home. But yeah, Exeter there, like, lost his hair, gained a couple of kills, and a lot of patience, actually. Just kind of hanging out here. Excellent kill onto Cryo. I think that Cryo just couldn't see that based on the zoom in on the scope here, but it was so important for Exeter to at least find 2 kills to make it a winnable scenario. But instead, Exeter just comes out on top. The solo anchor onto that B site just holds down that aggressive angle. 100 Thieves, though, trying to go aggressive right off the rip here. Flash is going to be successful. They're able to get that ground just outside of A, but now NV FlyQuest was so aware of where this push is going to come through.
I love the 0 to gas play that this is going for, but yeah, NV FlyQuest quick to meet it, and a huge knife out of the fadeaway that lets Jazzy grab the first 3v, but 100 Thieves trying to just refight this out, gain an advantage back, and eventually Marceline cuts through it. Flowers cleared away, and NV FlyQuest still have to try to babysit this A site with a minute to go, and 100 Thieves now have their pick of the litter in the 2v2 reset. Astra, KO, Ditto. Only difference is Austin that doesn't have that rifle on him.
What was that? Right off the bat, they're just kind of dry swinging it. Jazzy now in an excellent position, catches Marceline. Asuna able to find that rifle. Has to back out, has the spike. No command available as well. With the fragment going out here, not a lot of tools left in his pocket to try and clutch this 1v2.
Yeah, still 10 seconds left for this knife to reset, but Thea is 2 by herself. Try to approach this at first, then the step up from the spike, and she can just hold it. Another good retake. That'll let it go to 3-2 here. NV FlyQuest starting to gain that momentum.
That was, once again, like, I didn't really get to fully explain what happened right off the rip there, but it was so funny because it was literally just, oh, they got a kill? Okay, now it's my turn to go out and peek there. Oh, another kill? Okay, now it's my turn to poke out here. And
maybe we should have done 5 duelists. Like,
yeah, Dan was kind of cooking on the desk with that one. But yeah, and then it just gets down to a 2v2 where, once again, 100 Thieves were kind of walking into that one a little bit more disadvantaged when it came to their weapons, and yet still were able to just kind of trade off of it thanks to, honestly, amazing aim coming through from Marceline on that round. Still, though, NV FlyQuest, they walk away with it. Oh, yeah, I'm going to be popping the knives right off here to supplement some of the weaponry. That's a lot of fire right off the bat here for Ev.
Yeah, they're going to take a heaping helping a util after TPing so close. Cryo is going to dare to peek it, and yeah, Eve's out of options. They've got to fight this out. The trap is set up. Exeter is here to play saving grace, but Cryo and Melia hold it down for all 3.
Cryo, though, now down to 5 HP. That more or less just opens the door completely onto that B site. Should be a nice and easy take here. Melia's still lurking. So far forwards, might be able to find a timing, actually, onto Jazzy, but oh, what was that flick? That was disgusting.
So nasty. And that will be the kicker for sure. Popping a lot of tools in the bank. No excuses to use them. And a pretty tough eco to work with going into this next round, despite winning those 3 consecutive. Yeah. Gonna pick out he's going Christmas shopping.
Hey man, it's that time of the year. It's never too late to go and find those gifts for your loved ones, you know? That's what Poppin was actually telling us there, but an unbelievable kind of play getting set up there. Thanks to Melia as well as Cryo, just kind of holding things down, forcing the chamber out in order to find a couple of those kills there, making sure that the team was able to just fly through completely. Good coordination of utility to shut Exeter down. Of course, Melia finding that kill was unbelievable, but yeah, just worked out perfectly for 100 Thieves to stabilize themselves a little bit more. And once again, it really is just kind of coming down to those initial gunfights that are happening here. That was disgusting. Speaking of disgusting, Marceline already down, and that takes out a lot of smokes 400 Thieves to kind of play off of.
That's the second round in a row that they decided to challenge that too. 100 Thieves stacked it even heavier, and Eve came away with even more. They're going to do the same thing with this approach, though. Answer it with a Prowler. Cryo steps out. This time a Nova Pulse given in response to the door entry, though, so Eve has a little more time to play with. Now a Nebula, too, so no need for Exter to come play Keeper, but instead they'll just spray through on the walkdown and find their way through an open road. Yeah, that's one way to deal with it when you know that the goose is cooked.
Worth mentioning right now, NVFQ on a little bit of a save, so even though we saw Exter do disgusting things here, solo anchoring B, this time only does have that Marshal in hand. Dimensional Drift available to escape if he deems that necessary. Right now, 100 Thieves are just really taking their times as, well, there goes a couple of salvos here. Already, though, Exter misses that first shot, so Melia gets a lot of damage onto Exter.
Good little maybe time waster with the salvo, though, so 100 Thieves isn't entirely sure how
30
much
seconds
presence
left.
is on this B site. Especially if Exter is down this low. Might have called the reinforcements, but no buckling from the defense. They know that the pivot is coming, and they know that a lot of it is going to come through Art. Thea is perfectly attuned to this, but going to have to avoid the C's to start things out. Can't entirely, and so the pressure forces Jazzy to also step into it, but there's enough util to placate that as well. 7 seconds, and Slandy's gonna get that plant down. Heard by Thea, sprayed away to 1 HP as she gets out of there. And the rest of 100 Thieves have to make the ascension. Cryo, buckling forward, hunkering down. 2 for him, and he's still skating, still looking, popping though.
Wait.
Finding his own 2-piece on the Sheriff, and it's suddenly a 2v1 against that 1 crack of health that Slandy's boasting. Nothing in her kit.
Oh my
and
god.
Now the Armageddon to force Poppin's third kill of the round there. Yeah, sure. Why not? And the Cosmic Divide as well. I love it. 4-3 now for NVFQ. Only good decisions in these games.
I was going to say, that's the most Poppin thing I could ever imagine, where you're into a 2v1, unbelievable Sheriff kills kind of coming through here, and then just decide to use the Armageddon and the Cosmic Divide just to add insult to injury. Kind of crazy things happening here, and it's so interesting to me watching how 100 Thieves want to just play this offense moving into things, because usually, you know, based on the composition, you would really expect Melia to be playing with the rest of the squad, playing that kind of like Jet that just kind of flies in, and then Cryo's going to be the person who's going to be playing that like flank watch, trying to find those off angles. But it really has kind of felt like an opposite game where Cryo's been kind of the tip of the spear here, and Melia's been doing an excellent job at taking that back map control. Of course, though, started this round here, Thea under a lot of pressure as Melia really close by, but a couple more smokes are going to get set up. Thea, though, still holding ground. 100 Thieves are just on the other side of all these smokes.
Yeah, having little doubt that TDF is on the B side, so they want to toy with these extensions as long as they can, but it's actually NVFQ that's taken the biggest bite out of this space. I am amazed at how far up Thea has managed to stay, despite all that's been said and done already. TP back over from Exter, so you rebalance the stack, but it's still early to meet this. Yeah, Thea's still been there. So that'll be a trade out, but no more Astra smokes. Next checkpoint, Jazzy. Nothing to find her, and Cryo turns to it. That's a stumble, and 100 Thieves have the go button in on the Nightfall. Won't catch anybody, but Melia's got the rest of the spacing. Extra quick response so she doesn't get too flighty.
30 seconds left.
Now it's about the reapproach, and Eve is here with that TDF, able to cut short Marceline. Slandy now alone on that spike plant and has to use basically everything left to play keep away. Egster spooked away by that haunt, though, despite the 2-stack, knowing that the presence from Cryo is now here, and Slandy can start dancing around it again. Eve in that 2v1, and Slandy already pressuring them away with the shots, while Cryo just holds that staunch watchdog position from main. Still, that TDF is dangerous. Has enough shots to make it work. Quick switch to the Headhunter, and Cryo's repressured. 1 shot's all it takes, and Cryo's not falling for that first tap. Eve's going for half. Eve's second tap. Cryo goaded in, and the shot's missed. 100 Thieves tie it back up.
I was going to say, in that moment where we see the flood through from 100 Thieves, would have been an excellent time for a Teowalt, if you ask me. But once again, just an excellent job kind of coming through from 100 Thieves this time around. And of course, Cryo just kind of clutching it up at the last second there to really make things work. Thea, though, honestly, I like the adaptation coming through from FlyQuest here. FlyQuest NV, sorry. I think they're doing an excellent job at starting to read the the tempo really that 100 Thieves are playing with, because they always go for this kind of like first layer of aggression, then they back off, decide to maybe go one way or another, but are very patient moving there. And now NVFQ, we're seeing them take a little bit more of that space after that initial aggression to try and catch some of those opportunities to surprise 100 Thieves in the early part of the round in order to make sure that they get themselves into an advantage. Cryo, tour de force online. Ev just on the other side, but can't even blink for a second. Cryo swings around, and that's going to be an easy kill onto that chamber.
Can't let him get a sightline for a second. He's still somehow the most stoic on this team that has just gotten aimer after aimer. Egster, much sooner than he intended. Back here. No sniper, though. He's going to get up close and personal.
Oh, my goodness.
Salvo spooked him a little bit. Look out, buddy.
Slandy this time, playing things forwards. Egster actually retreating, but this is that phase 2 of that 100 Thieves attack plan. Look how they've gone all the way back out. But NVFQ have really reinforced the site. Keep in mind, Egster the only one with a shotgun. The rest of them do have rifles.
There are tools that Envy could use to check for Slandy's lure. She's already fighting this out, but she's keeping everyone here. The rotation from Jazzy, too. NVFQ have made the call, and Slandy on this IGL roll has fully duped them, and now the Cosmic Divide to take over A-side with all the security in the world. That's a stunning fake. Well done by Slandy.
It turns out it was all just a clever ruse, and now NVFQ have to run their way over to the A site. 100 Thieves, plenty of time to get themselves set up. Decide to go more towards the middle as well as all the way back here. And yeah, you can see they're getting ready to play off that util.
Slandy still not killed. Did not go through T, going for the flank, and she's actually gonna get help. Melia's gonna go with her. Long-winded backstab, but if they're able to have the other players fry as well, then it's no trouble at all. Egster's actually gonna be the only one who gets a kill on the board with that shotgun. And picks up a rifle in response to grab one more on the way down, but 100 Thieves will take back that lead.
Yeah, just an excellent duping happening there from 100 Thieves. I mean, once again, it felt so committal if you're NVFQ, right? Like, you see so many people, you see Cryo get that first kill, you're like, for sure they're going to be ending here, especially if their fate is still going to be hanging out around B site. But turns out that was all just a clever ruse. They pulled the carpet out from underneath them, had plenty of time to set up, and then it's just watching NVFQ walk right into their crosshairs. 100 Thieves, very patient, holding those cross angles, and then know exactly when they want to pop off, when they know that round is going to be collapsed. Another fast start here. Melia under a lot of pressure from that salvos, but a save for NVFQ across the board here. No real ultimates to use on either side, but we do see Slendy getting closer and closer to having the Nightfall online, which I think is actually a pretty good tool, especially with the deafen.
Big salvo to deal that chip and force Thea out. Just this experimentation, dipping your toes in the water, seeing what you can get away with. Such is the nature of a best-of-1 group stage in the co-ed tournament. Everybody's just seeing what's working. How we feeling? Now they're just walking a couple rounds since they did this, and Melia's gonna get a clean break onto Egster. No way peeking until the flash, and it's still a little dodgy. Jazzy, you wish she had a little more help for that, but Eve just can't find the angle, and that's all she wrote for that round. So NVFQ, one more stabilization here in this half for them to make it a tie game.
Yep, it's, you know what, we're getting closer and closer to the half. We got 2 more rounds left on the board here to try and make that one happen, but honestly, even though the rounds are not really going their way, I've been really impressed with how NVFQ have been really good at flashes lately. It felt like the flash grenades have just been doing an excellent job at blinding up quite a few members of 100 Thieves, leaving them to be a little bit scrambly. Unfortunately, though, we don't really see the NVFQ squad be able to follow up on those flashes, and so we don't really see 100 Thieves really get punished that hard. It's going to be the Blade Storm activated for Melia alongside this operator. So a different look this time around as Egster, once again, under pressure, very far forwards, but can back all the way up thanks to the portal.
Yeah, he's been fishing in those 2 pockets on the opening this whole time. Thea holding down the road, so 100 Thieves are going to pump up the gas. Egster is prepared for it, though, and this is the kind of push that you do expect NVFQ to manage. without really any hesitation. The stack is prepared. They have the interceptions. They've witnessed all of the key util already thrown. They have all the intel they need, and they're more than smart enough to understand how to counteract it. It's all about preventing.
Spike down B.
10 years on their role ships. It's always been this effervescent ever-presence ever since they started. And seeing Asuna, especially on this, flex role that he's been adapting on to, taking on the smoke sometimes, taking on this KO lately as well. He's been trying so hard to just continuously be on top of things and be as smart a flasher as we've seen Jazzy be so far this game. Really, someone up a la Eggster with those flashes that he's been able to do for the traps. But the nature of NV FlyQuest is like being so fast that you're preventing that kind of thing from happening. So you haven't seen Asuna be able to kind of springboard too often with that.
Honestly, like the looks that we're seeing from both these teams right now, it really feels like 100 Thieves are like, all right, we're going to play this one methodically, see what we can do, work out the stratagems, figure out what our best move is going to be. But on the other side, NV FlyQuest are just looking for those opportunities, looking for those timings, looking for those chances to completely pounce and dismember 100 Thieves one member at a time. And so it's a different of clashing styles here. But Jazzykins under a lot of pressure. He's very far forward this time, but Cryo just running it down.
And he's not done. He's just going to walk straight through that smoke in the garden and head out into no man's land. Rest of 100 Thieves can blossom as the spike gets planted by Slandy yet again. Not before Eggster goes down 2. So, okay. So even Jazzy are still in spawn here. Asuna didn't fully poke at it.
Yeah, you really don't. And now Thea really has to make some sort of ground happen here, but so many angles being held.
Yeah, just straight through. Easy peasy. Thea's able to grab a quick twofer. So, nice turn on a Cryo. Cosmic dividing. Yeah, last round. Let's go. Get your ace. Come on.
Team A.
All right. So it is 7-500 Thieves. Yeah, like you said, a little more methodical, a little more consistent with being able to just kind of cut through and pierce enough of the starting defenses to make a lot of the post plants pretty easy. But NV FlyQuest are going to do that too.
Yeah, and once again, I think that round did a really good job of explaining it. Like that time, they just completely split the defenders up, and then it's this weird kind of scenario, right? Where it's just like, okay, well, we don't really know what to do anymore, but we're going to just try and make this one happen. And Thea coming up with a little bit of magic here, but it's been so fun kind of watching these two squads go off against each other with such very drastically different play styles. But regardless, both of these teams have just been such heavy fraggers, and I think that has made this so exciting, Tenrek.
Yeah, we're only just getting started. We're only just getting active, and these players are going to fill up that kill feed a whole lot more. We're taking a quick breather in between the halves. When we come back, NV FlyQuest takes on the attack.
Last player standing. One enemy remaining.
Spotlight Series Americas in Monterey, NV FlyQuest and 100 Thieves taking on Pearl here. Marks, you know, seeing the differing play styles among the, 5 teams that litter these 10 players in the lobby. It's been really fun seeing everyone in this community just getting to figure out how everyone kind of ticks.
Oh, 100%. And like, you can't see the kill feed anymore, but I'm pretty sure Exter had like 14 kills and Cryo's on the other side sitting at 16 kills. And so really, it kind of comes down to them walking into each other and kind of holding their ground. Definitely, you can see the impact of both Exter and Cryo for both of these respective teams in kind of making sure that they've got those advantages as they kind of play things out. But once again, it's been a lot of fun because this is really like the first time that a lot of these players are playing together. And the desk highlighted it. A lot of potentially clashing styles kind of coalescing in different calling styles, different agent pools for all these different players. But one thing's for sure, I mean, you saw it during the break there. Everyone here is having some fun.
For sure. Hey, that Reina Roulette is still up for grabs. We got plenty of games left. Plenty of tired that these guys can get in the group stage. I am manifesting so hard. NV FlyQuest starting out on the attack here in the second half. As they started things out, they showed that if, the stack was there, then they could pretty easily intercept the entrances, but the headline was for sure Cryo being such a consistent guy that could just walk it down. No walking necessary for first blood of the half, though, as NV FlyQuest have the stack but no spike, so they're just going to try and do their due diligence until Poppin figures out where he's going.
And that's a statement to be made right off the rip there. Extra going down to Cryo. But a lot of room given up on mid. Something that both of these teams seem like they're kind of doing on this defense. But finally, 100 Thieves going to be re-aggressing here. Understand where Thea is trying to pressure that middle side just a little bit more. But now they're going to be running right into Cryo's crosshairs.
Fully around about it just to get to the road to B anyway, where Cryo will get his second kill. It just doesn't matter, dude. 100 Thieves have the lockdown, have the lineups, have the counter flash, and now a huge personnel advantage. Flashback in from Jazzy, catches a whole stack though, and all of a sudden, it goes back their way. 2 now for her, and she's holding up this front line as Poppin has made his way back as well. Sudden turnarounds, littering this team, even when they're not playing for a VCT spot. Melia on the slow entry though, and she's just gonna keep walking it down too. Can keep Asuna steady on the entry. Poppin jumps away to avoid Asuna and can now reset from the road. Tries to go for the head tap. Asuna chasing it down. Little time on the spike, but he's gonna be able to find it. And 100 Thieves will take the pistol. Oh, wake the hell up, Samurai. Welcome to Spotlight Series.
What was that, man? Jazzy again. Excellent timing on those flashes, has consistently got so much value onto 100 Thieves, and it felt like a round out of that first half there where we see the flash go perfectly, and then Jazzy's able to find a couple of kills, and suddenly the round flips right back into the favor of FlyQuest NV's side. And then 100 Thieves are kind of less scrambly, a little bit chaotic towards the end. That's when Poppin is really going to be coming out on top, especially in some of those more interesting kind of crazy scenarios here. Almost makes it work, but Asuna able to kind of clutch that one up at the end. Plenty of time to defuse that spike, and that is a statement of a first round of this half here. 100 Thieves, though, they win the pistol yet again.
Asuna with the 5-man knife on the immediate entry that NV FlyQuest has force-bought their way towards. They want all the smoke. And 100 Thieves, in response, still just spin the block, take care of that trademark, and sell whatever stack is flanking that they want to. In the meantime, Asuna, his position is obvious. Surely still holding this site. Prowler out to give away at least 1 on the flank. Yeah, Envy is going to be pretty tuned to how many might be spinning this, but are they prepared? Probably not. Jazzy at least with the 1, but the rest of Envy has to tuck and tumble into Asuna to try to get that personnel advantage back, but Asuna can just flash himself back in and manage the 1v1 against Thea. And this crunch is a lot tougher with the Stingers as opposed to Cryo with that Outlaw that can just walk it down and continue the streak for 100 Thieves, making it 9-5.
And a good read from 100 Thieves. You see, as soon as that pressure gets felt, Asuna is just like, actually, I'm gonna hang out back here, and just walks right away from that site. That was a buy-up coming through from NVFlyQuest, and so they were just running at them with stingers, ready to just overwhelm them with massive amounts of bullets and numbers. And yet 100 Thieves completely give up the space. They take their time and play those long-range engagements and play to how they want to engage. An excellent read coming through from 100 Thieves, making sure that NVFlyQuest are back onto a save for yet another round. And yeah, this time around we have something fun for you. You're gonna be listening to the live comms for one of these teams.
Here.
You go Prowler.
Nothing B.
Already in.
Flashing for you. 3, 2, 1, pop.
Leave me.
Yep, leave me.
Too close. They take the
Astra and Chamber.
Sorry.
We play heavier for B. I have the full aim in line. Can we get heavy for B?
I have to spot B.
I was
You guys
just
are...
holding on you. You guys are good. In R1.
Yeah.
One in R, one in R.
Close mid door.
Walking up R with me. Gina, come peek this with me. Great.
Yeah.
Ready? One in
R1 mid door. We got mid door.
Both are. They're grabbing guns.
Yeah,
Grabbing specters. Right now.
You're good.
They smoke to get out.
Out planning.
Running in this one. One could watch.
Just hold Matt.
Yeah.
Spike planted.
Hold on, you can let Emily clear space. Let Emily clear space.
One enemy remaining.
I think he's in R.
Yeah, Emily.
Yeah,
keep
on my
going,
keep
On your right?
It's like,
Yeah, okay.
Nice. Well done.
Sorry, I was like
Nice.
processing what right meant.
yeah.
Is there any other guns? Or do you guys just have specters?
No, it was just specters, I think.
It's a lot of specters.
Fun to listen into 100 Thieves for that round, being able to pretty quickly manage the retakes. That was a good double tap by Thea though, to at least manage one end, but tough to work with when you didn't have the economy. So, but yeah, I'm excited to get to listen into more of those comms going forward this group stage. Everyone's gonna have fun.
Yo, right? Like, we've never actually had like kind of like listened in for the challengers of the Ascension circuit here, and yeah, I mean, really fun as well watching a judge come into fruition. You know, always got to comment on the judge here, especially when it's in the hands of someone from 100 Thieves rather than the NVFlyQuest side, because you know they love their judges on the NV team, but that time around, Melia just kind of ripping through them with that shotgun, just find a double kill very early on, and Cryo through to force. This time they wait out the knife, not going to give up a lot of information. That allows Crowd to move up just a little bit more. Yeah, shoulder found.
That's kill number 22 for him, by the way. And Exter is going to be able to chase that down. Ballsy, but it works. So now 100 Thieves have to throw a little bit of piecemeal util to try to prevent a lot of this. And Exter, the TP is good. Asuna, though, steps into the smoke. And a great double counter frag as Melia susses out Exter from the one-way. An immediate restabilization that makes this defense just impenetrable. That was so impressive. And again, that's just terrific presence from Asuna. Great understanding of when exactly to cut that corner, because you know Exter's just going to keep running that down.
Yeah, once again, Asuna, one of the most seasoned Valorant players, has been in the circuit since basically the beginning here, and just an excellent kind of finding of timing to walk into the smoke and get the spray down, especially understanding the enemy's weapon advantage. And yeah, also too, Melia was able to find the foot of Exter there, and you see Exter just kind of jumping back, trying to find just the timing to get out of there, but able to just clamp down on top of all of that one. And yeah, 100 Thieves now, they've honestly just had a completely flawless second half thus far. And so we're going to be seeing the timeout getting called from NVFlyQuest to try and pull themselves back into this one because, well, 100 Thieves 2 rounds out now from clearing out our first series.
I'm expecting a lot of power of friendship type timeouts from these teams.
Oh boy.
I mean, not just NVFlyQuest, because I mean, for those guys, a lot of the timeouts are already sort of just like, guys, we can do this if we just work together. But I think everyone is really working on that to an extent. Because I think even if you're just like sort of pugging it out, especially in a group stage like this where you're playing 3 matches today, you're going to be up for a while at these desks under these bright lights, you're going to get a little burnt out occasionally if you're just kind of going through the motions of working the normal sort of tendencies of the defaults and the retakes that this game has. So making sure you have those breaks in energy, understanding when, you know, you want to kind of get those vibes back to a solid ground again. I think it's a good call at a round like this. But unfortunately, that's a great way to just shut us right back up, isn't it?
Yeah, imagine the entire timeout. You're like, all right, guys, good vibes, good vibes. And then Eve just dies right off the rip, and you're like, well, good timeout, I guess. But all things considered, NVFQ, they don't really have all the weaponry that they would necessarily want. Where I get a little bit concerned, though, is they bought up all these Guardians. So it is a bit of an investment. An excellent flash. Melia finding 2, finding 4 now. Bladestorm popped, looking for the ace.
Give it to her, Thea saying, I dare you, and Melia dares. Your first ace of the Spotlight series happening in the very first game on 100 Thieves. Continued tear. Cryo's been the one owning that lane the whole time, too. So, you know, Melia's got to feel good getting her time running it down there on B main at least once today. Oh, that was so great. And you know that Envy is not prepared for it to be specifically her. A pivot like that to the outskirts after manning the door off rip. She did that so fast. And there's Asuna with that great flash to facilitate exactly the kind of thing that he's been workshopping the past couple months in this offseason. I had some great fruition here in Spotlight.
Oh, well, that's a lot of information there. Hey, remember when you said that the timeout for NVFQ was going to be about vibes? Well, this is going to have to be something more. 2 ultimates online, though, so NVFQ have a lot of tools to work off of.
Another big entry, another big shutdown. Asuna still that cutoff, man. And able to re-up with the help of the Nebula, too. Rest of the stack is here. NVFQ have already made a good amount of space work. No command tucked in. Jazzy gonna try and take some space with it. Quickly refragged by Marceline, and now 100 Thieves can cut back. A lot they can just control off the Nebula as well. They can start the spike tap and force FlyQuest to start second guessing. There's one ultimate to play keep away, but yeah, 100 Thieves are already way in front of it yet again. They know this all too well, and it is a fantastic start to their group stage. A 13-5 victory here on Pearl.
And once again, the 100 Thieves squad, in general, I would say, they were looking so good when it kind of came to the strategy, when it came to how they really wanted to play the map and worked all of these different things around. I'd say, you know, NVFQ, when it came down to those little micro moments, we saw some amazing flashes coming through from Jazzy. We saw some amazing moments from Exter to be able to find those pop-off moments. But on the other side, 100 Thieves just across the board, all of their players were still hitting their shots. Melia closing us out with an ace, but of course, we got to see Cryo in prime form. I'm really excited to see how far this squad goes because, I don't know, after that one, like, for me, they're kind of up there when it comes to these 4 teams.
Yeah, how about Marceline on the smokes as well? After seeing her being, you know, the one that's normally been the spirit tip that runs it down for so long, it's great to see her kind of take a more stoic position in the frag outs. She's had a lot of more time in that spotlight and kill feed instead of having to necessarily throw her body at the problem. I really love what 100 Thieves decided to do coming into this series, and I'm excited to see them play again. But NVFQ, hey, they're full of surprises and room to grow together. I mean, this is 3 teams combining together with Jazzy Kids